Hey guys, time to do like a final update. Maybe do one again later, but the truck is like mostly done, and I've been using it for months and months, and it's been fantastic. So I'm gonna go through everything in one shot because it's so done. It was a work truck. It is a 2004 E250 4.6 liter, and so it's kind of the stock suspension, chassis, engine. No updates on that kind of stuff. When I bought it, it was in disrepair. It was a AC service truck. I'm an AC guy, so it has some of the amenities it has that I really liked. Was it has power windows, it has cruise control, it has power locks, doors. I put a $500 alarm. It's so fancy that because I have so many things in there, that it has a little display, and it'll tell you if the vehicle, like if it's bumped, kicked, if a window's actually broken, or if it's actually broken into. So I could be, like say I'm staying overnight in a hotel out somewhere or at a restaurant and someone breaks into the van, it'll alert me on that remote up to 500 feet away or something, I guarantee. I put a push bar on here. This is not a stock for this vehicle. It mostly lined up correctly. And then I bought these KC lights, which were I bought them used off of Craigslist for like 80 bucks. They essentially double the range of my lights, at least double. So coming back from Moab, we were on some Texas roads, 4 in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning. We turned those suckers on, and you could see twice as far. And then with the bright lights on, you get a wide beam. And so just the combination of those two works really great. You'll discover if these lights are below your lights, you are allowed to have those on at the same time legally, because then they're considered fog lights. If you mount your lights higher, they can't be on while you're going down the road. Okay, so push bar. I'm gonna mention pricing on a lot of stuff just to get that out of the way. But again, the grill, the brush guard was about like 120 bucks. Tires, stuff like that. All of the rims and tires I got from Tire Rack, and they were they were $1,200, $1,500, all mounted, balanced, and in. And Gus's Garage, shout out to them. They did all the mechanical work on this stuff, on this vehicle, to make it sound. And one of the things they did was like really fancy Bilstein shocks and stuff, and bearings and brakes, and I will say that the truck going over like washboard gravel roads and stuff is so much nicer than it used to be. Got my sticker game going hard. So on top of the truck is a Max Air fan. Those are like, the cheap one is like $250. It's very efficient. It draws about 20 watts maybe, I think, tops from the 12-volt system. There's two at QRXT or whatever the hell they are, 100-watt solar panels. Two of them was at the time around $150 for two of those, and it generates at times I'll see like 180 watts on real sunny days. You never see 200, obviously. That's the back of the kind of makeshift AC unit, with the idea that the exhaust would be vented out so it's discreet. With the tinted windows and everything else, you can't see in here, so people really don't know that there's an AC system in here. And then this is mostly kind of blocked off so that when the fan's on, it'll just suck all the hot air from the AC out. So the neighbor, Mike Stoll, really great buddy, friend, and great carpenter guy, helped me. Well, he basically made these shelves and stuff, and which work everything great, right? So this there's linens, towels, there's a small gas can in here, propane bottles for the kerosene, for the propane heater. That's the buddy heater. Dometic Toilet, dirt bike tools. So there's, on this rack here, it's like 53 inches long, if memory serves me right. That's obviously a chair fits here, and all the stuff to tire swap. Another chair, there's another little chair right here. So there's 3 chairs. There's actually a little table, fold out table that's in there. This is all towing stuff like that. This is really how the truck lives now. This is a little $30 portable, you can see how big my hand is, portable shower. and you just pump it, and then that spray nozzle is strong. I mean, it'll shoot spray. It's just like a shower, and it's insulated, and if you pour hot water in here, this will stay warm for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I have a microwave, and I have a little stove I can bring in, so I can actually warm the water up, dump the water in, pump it up, and I'll tell you, this is with the Dometic Toilet. So you just pull the toilet out here, it's never blocked up. You can lift the lid, and lift this up, and you can leave this up here, pump it up, and wash your hands. Use this as a sink. I mean, there's no reason not to. So it's like you can take a poor man's shower. You can wash your head. I'm bald, so I can soap up my head, face, hands, and just over this, it could be 20 degrees outside, and I'm not outside doing all this stuff, right? So you do have this. This always has water in it now. It's not a big deal. And the same with the toilet. I mean, it's like, why not? And the toilet just fits into this little cavity, and there can be stuff in the vehicle. All the doors can be closed. All this fits. This stuff is fantastic, right? So this shelf is just like tools and miscellaneous stuff in these baskets. And bungee, I swear, it's just like bungeed up. I could pull this thing out in like 5 minutes if I wanted to. This whole thing. This whole rack would come out. This will come out. This is just literally bungeed into. You know, this there's no reason for these to be coming out, but that's kind of how I did everything when I started anyway. So we'll walk around. Sorry it's taking so long. This is just indoor-outdoor carpet with some insulation underneath and padding. And you know, I just took everything out, scrubbed the shit out of this thing like you can't believe. There's 1 inch the foam, the styrofoam with the silver back. There's 1 inch all the way through, and then this is just 1/4 inch laminate wood, which is glossy like a laminate veneer thing. And the idea is that, you know, like I'm just still I was putting dirt bikes and shit like here, and if they hit the walls and scrape it, it's not really damaging anything, and it kind of glides off. So all this thing has been insulated with the 1 inch, and I've slept in it with the buddy heater. The buddy heater, by the way, I have a carbon monoxide tester right here, and I've slept in the van with this buddy heater. I'm sorry, just to kind of show you how fucking easy this thing is. I mean, really, honestly, hold on, check this out. There you go. It's on. Pilot's on. Let that little thermocouple warm up for a second. Let it off. Boom. It's going to flame up here in a second. It's on. I don't have to open the doors. I don't have to do anything. This thing runs about, it's an $80 product. These bottles are $5-6. You find them anywhere. You don't have to, I mean, I can just throw this right back up there. This thing doesn't even weigh 5 pounds in the footprint of it. It's $80, like I said. Well, it didn't get that hot, so I can do that with it right now. This thing lives here. I've slept in this van when it was 16 degrees outside. I mean, I was drunk. It's true, but I slept in it. So that, as I've shown you before, this pulls out. This is a RG Components bed. These are retail about $650 online. And so the back flips all the way over into a 39-inch bed out here. This is where I keep garbage here. And this little channel here is fantastic for wet stuff, crappy stuff, right? It's like, because it stays in this little cavity here, and this is a pretty loose gasket and stuff. Shit will just leak out. So if I have, you know, I'm having drinks or something, and I, you know, I can throw them in here, but if I just throw something temporarily here, like I have wet shoes from the beach or something, I can just throw them here, and it doesn't really matter. It's not getting the rest of the house dirty. So LED lights, these are, you know, $30, 12 volt. They draw about 7 watts when they're on full capacity. It's a 4-light system, all on one wiring harness. Put 2 lights here, it kind of light up the ground and everything, and then 2 lights up there. And that lights everything up. And it's nice because it's fun. You can just have any different colors. I can leave the vehicle red or blue or something when I walk away, and it's kind of inviting and fun for people. So my neighbor did a great job. I had made one of these, just temp one that looked It was rickety, but it was just to get the scale right. You know, it fit between the seats. It was this tall. All the shit would fit on it. So this is the Dometic Fridge. And then I'm going to mention pricing on the stuff. They make rails that these will sit on, so it'll be a proper guide. You know, this thing's full and heavy. But those are like $200, like no joke. I mean, with the carpet and everything, it slides. It's really not a problem. People be like, "Oh, you're gonna put the..." I'm like, no. So this refrigerator, it can be a freezer. These are $400. They draw about 100 watts at times out of the full system capacity. I mean, I turn the temperature up when I'm not really like I can leave it overnight. This setup can with the solar overnight on a sunny day, like you can. It is what's the word for it? It is sustainable. So I can use these lights at night. I can charge myself. I can use these lights. I can charge my cell phone and stuff off this jackery, and during the sunlight of the day, overnight it might get down to even 50%, 40%, 30%. The next day, with the fridge on all day still, with charging things like my drones, my phones, I can use these lights at night. The system will come back up to 100% the next day, just off solar on a sunny day. So then you go through the night again with this thing, right? So you potentially, if you're efficient, if you have sunlight and all that, you could go days with that's a 1000. That's a jackery 1000 with the 200 watts of solar. And also I have a little plug there. If I'm driving, I can plug that in, and I'll get 180 watts from the car charger for that sucker. And with 180 watts, usually in 2-3 hours, it'll be right up to 100% again anyway if I'm rolling. The fridge fluctuates in temperature a little bit, not enough to bother me. Made a little shelf for the jackery to sit in almost perfectly, and these things weigh 20 pounds. They're $1,000 for 1,000 watt. It's lithium ion. You can watch reviews on them and everything. They're amazing. I ran mine down to 1% a couple weeks ago, and you just can't do that with regular batteries and shit. It would kill them. So I put a cheapo 700 watt. Put a cheapo little $70 700 watt microwave in here, and it's just one of them things, man. I can have leftovers. I got pizza sitting over here right now. I got leftovers. I can just pop them up in there. So racing, I just take, that kind of stuff that can just heat up, and I have a little thing to heat on. It can heat water to make coffee, so I don't have to go outside and start a little burner and do all that. If I really want to, I can just hit 3 minutes, put water in there, and make a little personal cup of coffee in here without even really waking up, right, or any hassle. That's just a little cheapo Venta aimed air down. This AC unit is a 5,000 BTU. This is about a $350 very efficient window unit. This is not a $120 one from Home Depot. You can't find these things. When they hit the start, to run a window unit off a 1,000 watt inverter is not something that you can get away with unless you do research and know what you're doing. If you research online about the fancy, like the rooftop units that are, $2,000-$3,000, they are 5,000 BTU units. So, this is cobbly and all this shit. This thing weighs 42 pounds. I got pretty strong angle iron steel screwed to the wood hard, to the joists, everything hard, and then it's supported on here. Now the last piece that I haven't done yet is I need to replace this temp bullshit with some nice plastics with bonded that is white, that looks less crappy basically. But I'm sitting on the couch right now in here, and so all the tech, the toilet, around the corner there, I can grab the toilet. The heaters around the toilet. I got a shower. I got a little table I can pop out here. I got the refrigerator. I have the jackery. I got the solar. I got a microwave. I have a Android Auto 7-inch screen on here that can play movies and everything while I'm driving. But it does the Android Auto for the hands-free mapping and all that stuff. I just put a little garbage bags here. I bought this little screen. I think this was like $30 or something like that, which is made for this, right? And that goes like that, and you get some privacy. This goes like this. get some privacy back here. I think I want to get ones for the back window too, but you basically can't. It goes light tight in here. So I'll operate the bed. I'm sorry this is taking so long. It took a long time to do all this stuff. I'll operate the bed real quick. Sorry, I'm janking around. So you just pull the top back, right? And then these legs, my neighbor Michael again helped me with this. I've operated this a couple times on camera. Just go like that. I'm on my knees, and the idea behind the carpet and the padding is that crawling around in here isn't uncomfortable. That's a loading ramp for my dirt bike, which I put on the back. I just use a hitch rack on the back for my dirt bike. So it's 39 inches. I still got a path here. I can still even put the toilet there. This just wiggles out on its own when I'm just shove that back. But you can see 39 inches, 2 pillows, got the lens, man, you're out, done. And you still got room in here. Let me put my feet up. I'm 6'2", leaning up against the wall. My feet aren't touching the other side. This is the setup, man. I usually leave like 2-gallon bottles of water sitting there. I go mountain biking, I go dirt biking, I can just pour the water in there. I can throw it in the fridge an hour. That fridge, by the way, in about 1 hour on 12 volts or less, that fridge is at temperature. It'll be 40 degrees. So you can go get beers on your way to doing a mountain bike ride. And shit, half the time, by the time I get to the mountain bike ride, the beers are out of the cooler. The cooler's cold. The beers are cold. I mean, this thing's a game changer. Never dealing with ice and never dealing with cleaning the cooler out, pulling it out, dumping it out, having a big mess that it makes. It's amazing. And I just leave a little thing in there. I turn it off and I leave the lid open so it can breathe, so it doesn't get mold in it. That's it. It's that easy. I get about, with the 4.6, I have pulled a 12.6 trailer to Moab and back with 3 motorcycles and everything in it. It probably weighed about 2,500, 3,500 pounds. Pulled it through the mountains. Got crap gas mileage, 8 to 10 sometimes, but that's what it's going to be. I don't know, guys. I'd say that's the full tour of it is done. And these tuck up, by the way. Just go like this, put it up here, and that's pretty much gone. I use these little clamps all over the place. Clamps and bungees, man, because it's like you don't really have to make everything permanent. You don't really have to make everything permanent in these vehicles. You can, that's just fucking annoys the shit out of me. By the way, you can just take these down, throw these clamps here, and then all the time, clamps like that. So I got extra bungees in there and clamps, and I put stuff in here. I'll throw my mountain bike in here, and I just lean it up against that wall, throw a bungee around it. I mean, the mountain bike's in and out in a minute, This floor is super easy to clean up, vacuum. Doesn't matter if it gets dirty, whatever, right? Okay, guys. I mean, all in all, honestly, I bought this truck for like nothing. It was like $3,700, and hey, I bought this truck for $3,700. The AC wasn't working. It was ragged out. What else? That's it. There's no lights on though for like the engine or anything, like engine lights or anything. And I put another $3,000 into it or more to make it mechanically sound. And then with all the stuff, I got about $10,000 into it. $10,000 cash though, and it's just done, right? No payment. This thing should last for years. It's at 200,000 miles right now, but it's being taken care of. The couch, by the way, I was going to say, I wound up getting lucky. You can find this on Craigslist for $50. And then I just made the platform that it's sitting on, so I have the height right and everything. But otherwise, yeah, I would have bought it. I still would buy it today for retail price. It's not even a factor, and this thing is so slick. So, yeah, I think design-wise, I'm happy with the layout. It works. Oh, I do have a swivel seat bracket for that passenger seat. I have not installed it yet. I've had it this whole time. but it hasn't been a big thing. You can actually sit up there. I've had a guy lay across there and sleep, put a cooler there and a comforter down, and he slept there. We almost had 3 people sleeping in here before. So anyway, you know, the tall vans are great, but the platforms aren't as, this thing's like a pit bull, and you can drive it through a brick wall, and it can be fixed anywhere. The benefits of having a Ford like this is I can drive across the country. I can be in Podunk, wherever, and it's a fucking Ford. It's the same platform that's been around for 20 years. Same engine, same parts. Same, you know, it ain't like I'm driving a Mercedes or a Transit or a ProMaster that is a platform that is basically European. All of them are European platforms with European parts and shit. You know, if you're in the middle, if you have a Mercedes diesel and you're in the middle of the U.S. and you break down, you know, you could be there a week. And with this thing, you're there 2 days tops, right? I mean, someone could put a transmission in this thing in 2 days, right? And anywhere in the U.S. So there's that. The cost, and it's a frame vehicle, rear-wheel drive. I can tow. I mean, I definitely could tow 5,000 pounds with this thing, easy. I wouldn't push it though. And then, you know, the height thing. I mean, it's 7'6". I drive a lot of tall vehicles. You can go through drive-throughs and stuff like that, but you can't really park in parking garages, and that's a big deal in the city. Because of work, I know most parking garages you can't park in, and so that's a trade-off. But you know, the floor, you know, doing this carpet like this with the padding on it, because you're kneeling around, you're crawling around your knees, but that makes it pretty comfortable. I mean, I saw other people do all this stuff. It wasn't like it's all my ideas. And I mean, the cost of it, and it's like, okay, this gets trashed. Fucking pull it out, cut a new one, throw it back in. Who cares? Like, it's not a big deal. So, yeah, I'm real happy with overall. You know, I mean, it's got an alarm on it. It's got the fancy stereo. It's got cruise control. I mean, we honestly, at 65 miles an hour, my buddy and I, when we were going out towing the trailer, I got out of the driver's seat and he jumped in the driver's seat at 65 on the highway. Because I had to go pee, right? I didn't have the thing here, and I'm in the back, and I can go pee while we're driving. Like, we don't even have to stop, man. And we had like 10 gallons of extra gas for the trailer for the bikes, so we were just like, we could go shit like 400 miles without stopping anywhere. We don't have to stop. We got food, drinks, a bed to sleep on, a toilet. I mean, there's no reason to stop. Well, that's the long one, guys. Sorry so long, but that's the full shebang.